Hi friends, I'm Dr. Digger Cleverly. I played that old buttery, smooth bluegrass music all over this country. I'm married to an alien, and now I'm a big-time YouTube star. Well, you know, folks has been writing a lot about you and
Me?
about you, and they want to know about you. They want to know, about your history. I'd like for you to touch on your education in the martial arts as well. I mean, you're practically a Taekwondo expert, ain't that right?
Well, it all goes back to mommy and daddy being involved in the Rainbow family. And everybody knows that Stephen Tylerdale and Cub and I never got our official birth certificates. And that's what caused me to be thrown out of the Taekwondo school when I went over to Korea to compete for my 8th Dan black belt. It was right in the middle of my main event fight, part of my test. Me against 9 attackers, no holds barred. And that's when the secretary came in and says, "This social security number is a fake."
Well, that's good. Well, have you ever thought about getting into like the UFC with your Taekwondo background,
You know, it's been time to face facts, Uncle Digger, that a lot of them folks are grabbing and throwing and things like that. And Taekwondo is just a little bit more stylized, kind of like fencing. You know, you're like, why aren't them boys running around? Why are they just going back and forth, back and forth? Well, same reason chessboard has 8 squares either way. Same reason guitar has 6 strings. There's an art to Taekwondo. This ain't about fighting. That's not. I'm into the beauty of the human form, executing these kicks and these punches and these blocks. You know, just a pure artistry and the symbolism. That's where I get into. When it has to be something raw and you got to have 7 tattoos on your face to show them you're hard, and then you're going to have to go out there. I relate to that older gentleman. Believe he's from New York, had been going same beach 70 years. They said, take your lifeguard test. Now you're going to have to wear a Speedo. And he said, no, sir, I don't. I'm not going to wear them. I can wear my typical swimming breeches like I always would. And that's my approach with the UFC. There's something noble about the martial arts gi. And when you've took that off, you've took off a little bit of your respect for yourself and your opponent. Just my perspective.
Well, it's one I think people need to hear because, you know, it's all about the bravado, if you will, about who's tougher. But no one ever explained to me in such words. It's also about the beauty. And I think it's hard for those fellas to try to find the beauty while they're whooping the hell out of one another.
Right. There's something that those fellas may never hear, and that's the crack of a well-starched uniform as somebody executes a punch and it just flaps across their rippling muscles, male or female. It's a beautiful thing. It's like seeing your daughter in a wedding dress to see, you know, someone else in a Taekwondo gi or a karate gi.
Oh,
they look like they're going to look as good as they're ever going to get. That's my opinion.
Friends, today I'm going to be doing some cube steaks in the kitchen. And you can do this with beef or venison or alpaca. You name it. This recipe will work on any of them. Some people say, I don't eat wild game because it's gamey. You need a country friend. Let old Dr. Digger help you out. Now, I love venison. It's hunting season in the Ozarks. We eat a lot of venison. So today we're going to be doing some venison and some alpaca cube steaks. Other people say, how could you eat such an adorable animal? Well, let me show you. Now, I cut my cube steaks up into symmetrical pieces. That way they all cook about the same time. Also, trimming off all the white membrane. Now, that's where your gaminess and toughness comes from. Now all you really need is salt, pepper, skillet, bacon grease. But if you eat as much wild game as we do up here on the mountain, you like to mix it up a little bit. And that's when I reach in the cupboard and I grab my Townsend Spice and Supply seasoned blends. Now today I'm really gonna be mixing it up, and I'm gonna be doing something that'll go along good with them Italian potatoes that I fixed you last week, and I'm gonna be rubbing my steaks with Townsend spaghetti and pizza sauce seasoning. Now hang on before you kick me out of the country club, okay? I know what I'm doing here. All that's in here is just herbs and seasonings. Makes a great rub, makes a great sauce, but also makes a great rub. Now watch me just rub these steaks. I'm gonna put a fair amount on each side because you want that flavor to come through. Set it aside and let these steaks warm to room temperature. Now, I'm gonna be drudging them through some flour. Now, don't drudge your steaks after you season them good with this great season. Don't be drudging them in some old bland flour. Put some salt and pepper on there. Have I not taught you anything at all? Now, next thing is the Trinity. You want heat, skillet, bacon grease. Come on now. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take them steaks and you're gonna put them in a medium-high heat, bacon grease skillet. Let that skillet go to work and it'll start talking to you. It'll start singing, that sizzling and popping. That's a hillbilly mating call. 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Now some people like to cook their venison to death. Not me. I like that venison flavor. So what I'm gonna do is just 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Get it good and brown. Watch this flip. Oh man, look at that crust on the outside of that. I'm gonna do that on both sides. And then I'm gonna take it off the heat and I'm gonna put it with some taters and gravy. Oh, friends. Dr. Digger, I'm out.
Hey, shut that door. I can hear them kids.
I'm leaving that.
All right.
Hey, what's a favorite place for y'all to stop when y'all's heading through
Bob Evans, man.
Bob?
Hey, I'll tell you a good stop. If you're ever coming down 81, you'll have to Google this, to find out exactly where it's at. But a really good landmark to search out is Foam Hinge. Have you ever been to Foam Hinge?
No, where is that? I'm going. I'm there now.
Parking area, and you have to walk up this little trail, and you come to this big field, and it's Stonehenge, but it's made out of foam. So he's recreated Stonehenge with these big pieces of foam. And hey, it's life changing. It really is. You should
Write that down. Foam Hinge. We're going to Foam Hinge. We're filming something at Foam Hinge.
You should. And oh, how they danced.
There's a place in North Georgia this old boy has, and it's back roads. And if I had him in, I could tell you what festival we was headed to. But this old boy's built a UFO out of scrap metal and sheet iron.
Oh.
And he has a rocket, and and the big sign out there, and a UFO, it's flying saucer. And he has several things he's built, but he's named it the UFO Welcome Center, which I think is brilliant because when they start diving in here, like my wife and my daughter, obviously her grandparents and all, when they first started coming down here, they didn't have nobody to welcome them,
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty smart to set up a place where people can just jump in there as they're flying in here, and maybe you could, end up meeting, or somebody out there end up meeting a nice alien woman like I did.
Yeah, true. He's ahead of the curve, man. That's good thinking.
It's a neat place.
Yeah.
A little ticky. There's a lot of ticks and chiggers out there.
Yeah.
We got loaded and stopped to take pictures.
Yeah.
But so he's gonna have to fix that problem.
Yeah.
Aliens don't like ticks.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Y'all, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for tuning in today. And do us another big old favor, would you? Share, like, and subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about us. Tell a friend about us, for crying out loud. And do us another big favor. Go to our website, www.thecleverleys.com. Check out our booking information, our tour dates, and our merchandise. And the last favor, keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard. We'll see you next week. Choo-choo!